Hey there, what's up? It's Rime of the Frostmaiden, Icewind Dale, brought to you by Quest in Chaos. I'm James Arano. I'm your DM for this afternoon/evening, depending on where you are on this great big wide world, or possibly morning, that too. Yes, and I am joined by some wonderful people. We got Thomas, we got Tassie, we got Alondra, and we got JP. Unfortunately, we don't have Matt for the time being because he's a big Hollywood star doing those auditions. But hopefully, if the luck and the timing would have us, probably Matt, not probably, I shouldn't say probably, hopefully, Matt will be joining us during the break.
Is that a thing?
Oh,
I wasn't aware of that.
It was a possibility that was
That's fine.
broached.
That's cool. That's fine. I'll just change everything up.
That's why I asked to be at the break, my good friends, so that way you have time as opposed to being like, Donovan over. Oh shit! Up.
I feel your pain there, though, Thomas. Can I just say? I was like, I'll just drop you all in a 5-10. Like,
Yeah. Nobody minds if I just go away and turn my camera off.
it's like that scene in Mummy 2 where the pillars start falling, and you're like, okay. And then you come up all frazzled haired.
And the CGI is still somehow terrible for no apparent reason.
Oh, compared to the first one, what happened there, mummy? Anyway, speaking of mummies, I love my mummy. And I love Nord Games. Nord Games is a friend of the show. They have all that supplementary material. They got books, they got decks. They do not have Kleenexes. A second. Okay, no, we're not going to sneeze. Excellent. They got books, they got decks, they've got dice, they've got all that supplementary material to make your game awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Treacherous traps.
Yes, treacherous traps. They've got that book.
I'm going to
cards.
I'm just going to draw a random trap. Bathe the tiger. I don't know if I would recommend bathing the tiger. It is a magical trap, levels 9 to 12, perilous. It is a block trap.
Ooh.
In the center of this area, a circular basin within the squat idol of a crouching tiger inside. The tiger is stained a variety of muted colors. Jugs, decanters, and containers of various liquids such as water, alcohol, oil, and milk are arrayed around the room. The trigger for this trap is an offering. A creature that tries to leave the room without bathing the tiger idol in a liquid triggers the trap. The effect is a restraint. A creature that triggers the trap must succeed a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for 8 hours. The paralyzed creature can make another DC saving throw at the end of each hour. On a success, the effect ends. Dispel magic, DC 15, or a lesser restoration can also end the effect for a single creature. There is a countermeasure. Detecting the trap requires a successful DC 17 intelligence religion check or detect magic. Disabling it requires a successful DC 17 intelligence arcana check or dispel magic. Or you pour liquid on the idol.
See, they got that kind of stuff that makes just add some more life to your game. If you're looking for traps, you're looking for treasure, you're looking for new settlements, they got all that for you in different forms. So check out nordgamesllc.com/3.html. That is our affiliate link. You help them out, you help us out, and if you use the coupon code chaotic20, you help yourself out to 20% savings. If you go to our other friend, Birds of Paradise, made by our own very own Andrea of the Andrea of the Burbs. They got beautiful bird-themed dice as well as beautiful Arizona-themed dice, as well as prickly pear dice. Check them out at birdsofparadise.com, and if you use the coupon code chaotic, you're going to get yourself 15% off. And our last friend of the show, good old D&D Beyond. That's where we create our characters. That's where I create any custom material. Makes it really easy to take like a monster that I have as a base and then turn that into a custom monster. It's where we also get the cool overlay where you can see the character's health. And if you click on the characters, you can access their character sheets and see all those fun diddly doos. And also they provide all of the source book material in one place with very, very handy tabs. So that way, as much as I love a hard copy book to flip and read at night and cuddle with and hold so dear to my heart, D&D Beyond makes it much more efficient. It makes the work easier, so that way you can get back to the game. Excellent. I think that is it on the usual announcements. Thomas, you had quite a bit of stuff you would like to lay out for our good old audience members.
I do. This month and last month, February and March, we saw a number of people join our Patreon. So I wanted to thank those people for joining. We have joined in February and March Ben.
Pew!
Not to be confused with Ben.
Pew!
LB,
Pew, pew, pew.
L, SV, and Emily of Three Kingdoms. Thank you all for joining us. And if you want to be named something other than your initials, let us know, and we will put that into everywhere where we put it into. And speaking of Patreons, we've got some cards left over. If you are a Patreon and you want to play some D&D, make sure you join the Discord and go over into the Guild Hall section and the mission section and let us know if you're going to be playing, because we want to know and schedule things correctly. Whew. All right, we've got Emergency Seal, which creates a barrier. It you know what? So the flavor text on this, it's not foolproof, but it will have to do. It's gonna slow an enemy down a little bit. Critical Strike, which changes a regular hit into a critical hit. That might be overpowered when you get to choose it. We have a second one of those, so super overpowered. And then we have Change of Fate, which is your regular reroll. We have Dangerous Oil, which changes a weapon into a +1 weapon for a combat until the end of combat. And Boosted Regeneration, which gives you healing at the beginning of your turn till the end of combat. Okay. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers and to our Twitch subscribers as well. I see that Sunset's Brew resubscribed. So, thank you.
It's because he wants to see me die.
Don't we all just want to see that number go up? There's something satisfying about watching numbers slowly tick up.
Yes, it's like leveling, but opposite.
Yeah, reverse leveling.
Yeah, thing.
Well, I believe the over-under bet is that by the time I perma-die, I will have half as many deaths as we have episodes. And right now, number's not looking good.
Technically, no deaths yet. Just some unconscious.
Yeah, just
brutal.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Do we have any bits, Thomas?
So you guys have 4 bits left over from last time. You guys, we.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, way to strike out on your own there, Donovan.
Yeah. Well, something you're not telling us, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the 4 bits.
4 bits. If folks use 1 bit, or excuse me, if they use 1 inspiration, they can add a d6 to their roll, kind of like a bardic inspiration. If they use 2 inspiration, they can use that to pull 2 cards from the deck of inspiration and choose 1. So, will they need it? Let's see. On this morning, afternoon, evening's episode of Rime of the Frostmaiden. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that theme song. Last time, on Rime with the Frostmaiden, our heroes, eyebrow raise, went into the mines of Tourmaline to go investigate a kobold infestation.
Is that what that
If
was?
you can call 5 kobolds an infestation.
Yeah, right.
Sounds more like a family.
Anyway, they went in and they dispatched 2 large rats. And they found that the reason why the water near Tourmaline on Mayor Walden's northeastern side has not frozen over is that there appears to be a thermal vent that runs through the water, keeping it from freezing. They continue to go deeper into the cave. They found many, many sparkly gems that they refused the temptation of. They did find a tiny dog sculpture with little inset eyes of gems. They found that at the centerpiece of this mine is a large, deep hole that likely, after some investigation, leads to the Underdark. They walked around one plank and found that there were 2 kobolds doing some work underneath. They threatened these kobolds to take them to their leader, Trex. There's a bug in my room.
Trex, there's a bug in my room.
Trex,
We
there's a
didn't get
bug
his
in my room.
last name last time. I'll add that to the notes.
I mean, y'all
Trex,
didn't ask. Y'all kind
bug
of
in
just
my
killed him outright.
That is factual. We did just kind of murder him.
But they took these 2 kobolds further deeper into the caves where Donovan, like a cold ice bastard, just shoved them into the hole in the Underdark. They proceeded to go deeper in the cave. They saw 2 more kobolds who were poking a dead rat and marked the shit out of them. And then they continued to go deeper in. However, they were momentarily stopped by Grell, a brain with a bird beak and many, many tentacles that probably floated up from the Underdark, who accosted Renner. Good God, this bug. I think I got it. Nope, I did not.
Inspiration.
What is that?
Nat 1.
Nat 1. Yep, basically that is what happened there.
If he knocks the microphone over, that will be a nat 1.
Fuck, man. This
I
bug.
was say, you're giving us shade about just straight murdering things while you hunt this insect.
Bitch, I'm gonna get you. But yes, they killed the Grell as well. They went further deeper into the 3rd level of the cave. They found the leader of the kobolds, Trex, and 2 of his kobold bodyguards and burned them to a fucking crisp. And who would have thought that Trex, because they didn't really get a chance to talk with him, was possessed by a ghost. Woo! Who was very perturbed by the fact that Azar had taken the bag that held some fauna samples, and they possessed Elspeth. And Azar was having none of that shit, and so she burned the
Scent
bag.
is important.
Just
None
wanted
of
to
it.
talk to the ghost, man. Just wanted to talk to the ghost.
So then, unbeknownst to them, burning the bag sent the ghost off into the afterlife.
See, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You know,
They decided to explore just a little bit more. They found a Mind Flayer's skull, and within the Mind Flayer's skull that was wedged deep in the wall was a, at the time, slightly glowing pink crystal, very similar to one that they found lodged into the skull of a snowy owlbear. They deemed that their exploration was done and returned to Tourmaline, where they collected their reward of
50 gold pieces.
50 gold pieces to be distributed at someone's leisure. It was nighttime, so they made their way to the east side a lodging where they heard a young girl at the front singing a slightly ominous tune. But you find yourselves there at the east side. This immediate entrance you see is very bread and breakfast. Ah, bed and breakfast, in which you have the counter and a center wall, but on flanking center wall is two openings that probably go further into the back of this room. However, you just see this young, willowy teen, sandy blonde hair, piercing green eyes, kind of an upside down tear-shaped face with lots of freckles as she just sings her song, notices you all on there, and she stops sweeping away. And you notice that she has very simple clothing, oddly loose compared to the bundlings that you've seen a lot of people wearing. But she doesn't seem to be bothered by the cold as she turns up. It's like, oh, hello. Can I help you? Would you all like rooms?
Yes, that's we were directed here.
Two rooms, please.
Two rooms. Okay. Let's see. That should be. Walks over to the counter. 2 rooms. 5 people. That will be 5 silver pieces each.
Sounds fine to me.
Meals included with that. That seems pretty steep.
Unfortunately.
Each room.
Huh?
Each person or each room?
Per person.
So 2.5 gold for lodging. Does it look like a nice place?
As you take in more of these surroundings, let's see. Yeah, Donovan, Elspeth. Donovan and Elspeth, for sure, coming from more southern regions. It definitely has a more, excuse me, as like the rest of the town, more of that Kalashite decor, which is has a lot more maroons and reds and gold, and it's quite nice. On the flanking on the walls behind the desk are 2 oil lamps that just give a nice warm glow, and you can see probably behind where this center wall piece is, there is a greater fire in the back, suggesting a fireplace. Just nice wooden floorings all the way across. And when you entered, it looked like a very plain house, but it definitely has more of that bed and breakfast kind of feel about it. Little, not excessive, but tastefully little kitchen knickknacks here and there that, again, have more of that like Kalashite gems. Not bright colors, but compared to the more muted things you have seen or lodging types, it's different, but nice.
So it's less of a tavern as well.
Yes, definitely not a tavern.
Right. Okay. Here is 3 gold pieces. Thank you.
Thank you. With 3 gold pieces, that will also cover the meal.
Very good.
Excellent. Well, so shall I show you to your rooms?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Excellent. She sets the broom down on the back wall there and grabs 2 little keys that kind of just like hang in her hands. Takes you into the back room, which seems to be a bit of a lounge area where you have a couple chairs that are more nice sturdy wood, not like rough hewn, but definitely shaped and side tables, about 3 each, and a center fireplace. But the main attraction is the stairs, kind of ringed by a guardrail that goes straight down into the middle of this room.
The rooms are downstairs?
Yes. So basically, we didn't have much of a tavern. So what we did was we dug deeper into the ground below a couple of houses and created a little network down there.
Well, it should be warm, I guess.
Yes.
Well, who's the dead person in the song?
Well, it is the tale of the Red Woman. A new kind of tale, about 50-ish years ago. A woman came into Tourmaline with a fur-lined red cloak and stopped here at the east side. And she was alone and frightened, and the innkeepers, a pair of retired adventurers who happened to be my grandparents, was there to console her. They gave her this ring, and she taps her chest there, and you can see along a chain just a ring threaded on. Very simple chain. But for hospitality. However, the wind basically blew in through the inn and just like tossed her around like a rag doll. And my grandparents, being as they were at prior adventurers, fought the wind for her to leave. And she left and never returned after, the wind knocked my grandparents unconscious. And yeah, last anyone saw the woman.
Okay. I go over to Elspeth. It's like, well, sounds like you'll have another ghost.
I'm getting increasingly concerned about the prevalence of stories here involving the ghosts of dead or murdered women. It's a bit disconcerting.
We don't know if she's dead or murdered.
Didn't your song end with "and surely she's dead"? I mean, I understand it's a folk tale. That's how most of these things go. But
I mean, it adds, I guess, a wrap up to it, but it doesn't. It's better than, and we don't know what happened to her.
That's a fair point, I suppose. Right. Well, that's fast. Your grandparents fought the wind.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and looks over you with all your weapons and less than stellar clothing. I'm sure you have fought a fair deal in your time. Stranger things than the wind.
Well, now that I'm thinking back, I feel like we narrowly dodged having to fight the wind that one time that we were being chased by that terrible frost giant skeleton.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, our lives are weird.
Increasingly so.
Yeah, this place is not the best place ever.
Yeah.
Probably even before the Frostmaiden came.
Probably. Strange place.
Yeah.
And strange places tend to have strange people.
Very true.
True.
Amoa just has like a moment of like existential, like, are we the strangers? Are we the strange people? Am I strange? Who is strange, really?
As you're like having that
Strange
moment, she kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder. Amoa, like, she reaches up a bit. Shall I show you your rooms?
Yes. Yes, that would be delightful.
All right. She seemingly a person who probably hasn't had a bit of conversation in a bit, is a little bit in a chipper mood as she like kind of skips down the steps.
Oh,
Takes you about.
did we get her name? I
You
can't
did
remember if
not
we asked
know.
it. Oh, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Marta. Marta
Nice
Piskri.
to meet you, Marta.
Marta, what?
Piskri. Well, and she leads you down, and immediately to your left there is, after you come down, you find yourself in these tunnel network lined with oil lanterns that give a warm glow against the light brown walls of the underground here. And yes, due to being below ground, it is significantly warmer compared to other places you have been, where either you would have had to have like a fireplace going, but there seems to be something about this place other than, well, I mean, because underground, that gives it that cool but not cold, which comparatively feels quite warm.
I believe we're near liquid hot magma.
Oh, well, probably not. You're fine in that regard. But Kelvin's cairn is quite close to us, but magma, you're fine.
Okay.
Good. We can take one thing off the list of things that are probably going to creep into our room at night and cause us problems.
Don't worry, my grandfather, and like taps the door that's immediately to her left. Clyde helped make all of this, so don't you worry. It is a-okay.
I'm sure it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Right. And then just begins to skip down a little bit, and you see that there's a couple branching paths that lead into like a little, like cul-de-sacs, if you will, of rooms. And she leads you down left, right, and then the furthest one down at the end of this tunnel that gives a slight left into a cluster of 3 rooms or doors that lead to rooms. And she's like, okay, well, which one would you like? I got this one, and this one. They're all the same.
I'll take the left one.
Take the left one. Okay, cool. And do you want to be next to them, or do you want to be across the hall so that way you can have your doors open and be like, hey? Or do you want like some privacy because you got like that right angle?
Across the way sounds fantastic.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, excellent. And so she opens left side and right side. They open up, and there you see similar-esque furniture to up above, where the wood isn't like the lodging style of just like kind of gnarled wood. It is very carved and straight. The fabric definitely maintains those red and maroon-esque color schemes with gold inlays that just kind of create intricate patterns that make more diamond and straight lines on the fabric. Very much Kalashite. And you see in each room 2 beds and a central place, as well as some nice wooden desks.
How many beds?
Looks nice.
I missed that.
2 per room.
Excellent.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Cool. So whoever has the right bed here and whoever has the left bed over there, they can have the doors open and be like, hey.
They really like this idea of hey.
Wonderful. That should be excellent for us. Is there a particular time at which we should come back upstairs for a meal, or?
Oh, since you're here, I can get that ready to go. I'm the one running this place, so I will be doing that.
Do you
Once
need
you're all
help? Can I help?
Do you want to help?
Yeah, you're by yourself.
Grabs your hand and begins taking you away.
Hey, bye, us all. I'll see you later.
Yep. So by the hand, Marta just like leads you, and she goes to that second little alcove where it's again 1, 2, and 3. But she goes immediately to that center door, and she opens it, and there you see stairs that begin to go upwards, and you find yourself at the top of these stairs to be in what seems to be another building, but it's an entirely a kitchen. So, what do you want to make?
I don't really know. I'm not really good cooking, but
Okay. Well,
I can follow instructions,
excellent.
sort of.
Okay, so we will make some trout today, and let's see, we got some roots from good old butterball. The I'm forgetting the chef's name. Vernon's butterball was able to get some root vegetables from the forest. So we have some of those, and we got some greens from the river.
Do you know what the fish like to eat?
Oh yeah. Well, there tends to be vegetation within the lake that they like to eat, and probably that's how they survive. So that's why they eat that.
Do you have any of that? We need to feed some fish. They wanted food.
But wait, huh?
They said that there was something they used to eat, but that they didn't get any more, and they wanted more of that.
Okay. Well, I have some, and she walks over to like a jar over off onto one of the shelves, and she like pulls out. It's like, so basically we got some pickled lake weed, if you will. Not actually from the lake. This one actually comes up from the river flow that comes down from the north sides. But yeah, we were able to get some of that from our folks in Lonely Wood. They were able to harvest it along the water's edge. So I mean, it's pickled. Is that okay? I don't know if fish like pickled. Is it vinegared? I guess. I mean, well, it could work. I guess. I don't know.
They didn't say.
Well, they didn't say. I guess we'll just like takes a little bit, wraps it off in like kind of like a cheesecloth, and hands it off to you.
Okay, thanks. Just put it in a bag, and I'll pay attention to what it is. So if I see more of it, I'll
and
recognize it.
It's not like seaweed, but it's got a bit of a frondness to it. The pickling process is kind of pickled it, so it's a little more on the shriveled side. But you imagine that the leaves itself would be pretty broad and almost blade-like in the water.
Okay.
From there, she begins to take you through the cooking process of working with some root vegetables, asking you to cut stuff. Roll me. What would be a cooking check?
Am I just doing manual labor, or do I have to make decisions?
Marta at first like begins to like being like, okay, we do this and do this, but then eventually she just kind of gets in a role of just starting to move things and kind of expecting you to be ready with others.
And it is written into Ozar's backstory that she's a bad cook.
Okay.
Survival check.
Survival check. And because you say it's a bad cook, disadvantage.
Oh, okay. That's a 16 on that one. So that's 18. Yeah, 18 survival. And so that's a 13.
13. Okay, not bad. Some of the root vegetables come away a little unevenly cut, but with the combination of you two, and even though there's minimal instructions coming from Marta, you both kind of get in a flow with one another, coming out with pretty decent meals of a filleted trout steak, quartered root vegetable tubers that have been kind of just lightly sauteed in seems like whale fat, salt, and then a little bit of the side of the pickled leekweed.
Like, this looks like food.
Yes, you did great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so
Well,
much fun.
Yeah, they sort of took me out of the kitchen at the monastery because I didn't produce things. They said this isn't food, but I don't know exactly what they meant by that. But this looks like food.
Yes. Well, whatever they were thinking, they were probably not great teachers. Okay, they had to make sure that you would be able to cook, and if they didn't teach you, well, that's on them.
Okay, sure.
Cool. Well, should we go get the food to your friends? Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. I haven't had like a person to cook with in a while, so thank you.
Yeah, sure. So you do everything by yourself here?
Yes, and you kind of observe the place a bit more, and you see that along the walls that there are little bell systems. Their meanings unbeknownst to you, but you do see a little bit of a bell system that's probably
like pull a string and make a.
Oh yeah, that one up there. That one is for when someone enters the main entrance where you all entered. So that way I know if like I'm over here, it's like, oh, someone's there. But if you pull that one is for your friend's room, and basically that lets them know that that lets me know that if I'm in here, I need to go to room 6.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, it was a little bit when I first started, when Grandpa Clyde just kind of, he took a bit of a tumble one time while fishing, and it's kind of not been up to his usual strength. He's getting there, but the first few weeks it was just, I need to find something to work, and I came up with this stuff. And the wire, yeah, that was a little bit, I think it helps me be more efficient, so I think it was worth the cost.
Oh, you're very smart.
Thank you. You are too.
Okay, thank you. So food then?
Yes. And you see her just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's like, oh, did you want to take one?
Sure, I'll take half.
Wow, my arms are so light. And begins to lead you through. Meanwhile, did you four, sans Renner, but Renner's there, want to discuss anything while cooking was taking place?
Elspeth just kind of looks around and comments, this is sort of like the catacombs back at the Abbey, only, less creepy and morbid. But very cozy.
Were the catacombs cozy?
Oh, yes, it was much warmer down there during the winter months. We used to spend all of our time playing down there when we were children. Excellent for hide and seek.
Oh. Huh. Okay. Okay.
You have something to say, Donovan?
No, it's just the last time I was in something like the catacombs, it didn't go well for me.
You mean about a week ago when we were in that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I have some things that we should possibly examine a little more in depth before we go to bed, but I think we should wait until after the food's here so that we can, shut the door and not be disturbed.
Food coming here? Or were we going up to the lounge?
I was unclear on that point. So,
how much of the food can we smell?
Sorry?
How much of the food has wafted down as far as like the smell?
Unfortunately, because you are on a lower level, not much of it is coming down.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry. And kind of just like shoves Donovan to the side and stomps stomps upwards upstairs to go look for Azar.
Mm-hmm. And as you stomp upwards, you actually don't know where they went.
Perfect. I let my nose lead the way.
Roll a perception check.
18.
18. Okay. You start to walk around and you just catch the hint of something frying in oil, and you walk down and you find that passageway that leads leftwards, and you go towards it, and you see at the end of the hallway it's a slightly cracked open door, and you open it, and then the smell just slaps you in the face of just like fried tubers, fried starchy thing in oil. And you start to walk up the stairs, and as you walk up the stairs, you hear and see smaller feet just begin to descend down as Marta just like catches you. It's like, oh, hi.
Hello.
Oh, we're bringing it down. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Oh, so excited. Wait, you bringing it to our rooms?
Yes.
Oh, can I lend a hand or something?
Wow. And she hands off 2 more plates, and it's like, I've never held 1 plate before. This is fun.
Am I holding 2 plates in one hand? What's the deal here?
Oh, like however you want to hold it, but she passes you 2.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, I'll tell the others, and let's sort of like jauntily makes my way down.
Come on, Azar, this is fun.
And Donovan is up in the common room, like, like looking like John Travolta.
So were we supposed to stay downstairs? Because no one's here.
Yeah, maybe I don't. I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna go check out the main hall or the entryway.
That seems like a good idea.
Okay, well, I mean, so from the common lounge area, it's just right around that wall there, or little divisional, and you walk back there, and you're like, you just see the broom, you see the desk, you see the open door. With your passive perception, yeah, I would say you also see a bit of the bell system.
Huh. Well, it's clearly not here. So back to the common room. He takes 1 step back and back downstairs, I guess.
All right. This is a strange workout, but
You descend down the stairs. Where do you guys head next?
back to the rooms, I guess.
Yeah.
Just kind of wandering the halls, looking to see if we run into any of the rest of our party.
You like turn left, you turn right, and then you come back to the your final hallway, where all of a sudden you see Marta just like, oh, hi, we were looking for you. We got food. Your blue friend seems to really enjoy the pickle thing, but he's not eating the fish, which is sad.
Oh, he prefers it raw and salted. So sorry, we should have specified.
You see her run off, and then you see her running with the place. Like, I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be very grateful.
Yes. Okay. Food.
Yes, food.
All right. So you all begin to participate in this meal. After a few seconds, Marta comes back with just like a slab of raw fish with some salt on it, and a little bit more of the pickled lakeweed. Hands it off. Okay. Wow, it's like what is it? Oh, I think I heard about this before. A sleepover. You all are having a sleepover while you're eating the food. Cool.
Oh.
Yes, I suppose that's not inaccurate.
This is a bed and breakfast, right? I mean, you actually do this every day?
Yeah, sort of. Well, some people like to eat up in the common room, but you all seem to really enjoy the room. So I thought I was just going to bring it down here. And I thought it would be really cool if I did.
Cool. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay.
How old are you, Marta?
15.
Ah, yes.
Right.
Wonderful age. That explains a lot of things, actually. Well, we're going to eat, and then I know Donovan and I have some business to take care of before we go to bed. So we're just going to go into our room over here and take care of that.
Oh, business.
No.
Not that kind of business. No business. We're all business partners.
Oh, okay.
Adventuring business.
Oh, okay. Adventuring business. Okay, cool. No, last time someone had, I chatted with them a little bit. I think they got a little bit annoyed. They were like, "Oh, we have some business to take care of," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Can you go?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then they closed the door, and then I learned what business meant.
Oh, no. That was a euphemism. This is legitimate, actual adventuring business.
Okay, because I've been holding on to that euphemism for past 3 years now. So it's
You would 12. All right. Well, okay.
In fairness, I'm sure anyone else, when they say we've got business to take care of, actually does mean euphemism business.
okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna eat right here in the middle of the hallway.
Oh, this is interesting.
Almost ready.
Noted.
What is it? What is it? What are we being served exactly? Is it liquid or is it like?
Sorry, what?
Is it liquidy? Is it stew-like? What is
Oh
it?
no, it's fried fish, and then there's a bit of that pickled lakeweed, and then some basically like stir-fried, some kind of starchy tuber.
I'm always already like licking his fingers, like, oh, is those seconds?
Oh, well, I mean,
Elspeth's just gonna push what's left of her plate over to him and just be like, "Here you go." I'm
yeah, we had
there's Brenna's extras as well.
Yeah, I can bring that down. I mean, like I cooked that without asking, so I could bring that down for you if you'd like.
Sure. Keep it coming. Wow, they're really speedy.
She has so much energy.
I think she's very lonely. She said her grandfather was hurt and isn't get around, and she runs everything by herself. So
you should introduce her to a dog sitter. Perhaps they'd get on well.
Okay, here you go. Whew, I've never run around this much before. It's been a while. Okay. Yes, you all have your business to take care of. Okay. But not that business.
No, a non-euphemistic business.
Okay. Winks. Okay. Bye.
Winks.
Oh, and then runs back. If you need me, just ring the bells. I told the czars they're really smart. We're really smart. Like she said, we're smart. So okay, bye.
Okay.
You think she's part tabaxi? She moves very quickly.
I need a nap just after watching her.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can go for a nap.
Yeah. So that happened today. You know, we took care of the mines. Oh, speaking of which, here's 10 gold pieces each, and I will hand out the 10 gold pieces because I got the 50. I believe that I got it in a bag.
Yes, I believe you were handed the 50.
So I will give 10 to everybody, and I will even update Renner's character sheet.
Ooh.
Wow.
Here I am taking notes, but I don't need to.
Why do I have so much money?
A thing that has never come out of Donovan's mouth before.
Huh?
I know.
Oh my god, Renner has so many hit points.
He's a fighter with a +4 to his strength.
He has no money.
Facts.
He don't know. He don't care.
He doesn't care. He has less money than Donovan.
Elspeth keeps trying to pay for things and no one will let her, so she's making bank on this trip. If she ever finds her dad again, he's going to be so impressed with her.
Azar will give Donovan her share of the room fee, 5 silver back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Elspeth will do the same.
10 silver. All right. So what are we doing? So tomorrow we're going to get the dogs, get the sled. We're going to head back to our original mission. And then also
the cabin, you mean?
Yes, the cabin. Things that are on our agenda. There's the cabin. Deliver these things. Probably the priority. I wouldn't mind checking out Lonelywood. those mafioso fish seem to want some food. So maybe-
Marta says, I'll just like hold up a little sample of the pickled vegetable. She thinks it's this kind of thing, but probably not pickled. So she thinks it looks like this.
Huh. Can I make a roll to see what that is?
Sure, make a nature check.
Maybe I shouldn't even roll. 14.
14. Well, you are unfamiliar necessarily with the Icewind Dale fauna, but with some conversation with the Tsar probably divulging, it's a lake weed, even though it's not part of the lake, but it sounded, Marta told them is like, it's in the river, but lake weed sounded better than river weed.
Okay. Right. So anyone? I'm tired. Bought some things today. You know, it actually went quite well.
It could have been much worse.
I feel pretty good. Usually I'm just like, oh God, I'm about dead.
I don't think I took a single hit today, which was a unique experience.
Except for being possessed by the ghost, you did quite well.
That, you know, it wasn't a problem for me.
Mola's just there like just nodding at every single person in the room.
Right. Well, before I go to sleep, I'd like to go examine some of this absurd collection of potentially magical and or cursed items that have accrued. So
Right.
I'll just be at the desk over there.
Do you have the book? Can I see the book for them? The book
Yes. Yes, here, I'd hand you the book. If I've been tracking correctly, I think we only have to wait maybe another week if we can't find anyone who can dispel it for us.
And Donovan just flips it open if it isn't turned already. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you open it and you open up to a page where it was trying to equate a woman's bosom to a fruit down south.
Excuse me?
Is the book back?
I keep trying to understand the poetry and it's just bad.
Keeps trying to rhyme birds and towards.
That fruit has a distinctive odor. That is not a good comparison.
Anyway.
Going to sleep. Unless there's anything else we need.
I'm almost already asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
It just
just kind of the spoon is still in his mouth. It's like,
Elspeth just wants to go into the room. She was planning to share a room with Donovan unless he had objections, because she's going to sit in a corner and pull out mostly the skull and the dog statue, the stuff she pulled from the mines, and the crystal, which again is wrapped in a handkerchief so she doesn't touch it. And before she goes to sleep, she wants to cast Detect Magic.
Yes.
And just see what vibes she gets off of her new collection of horrifying objects.
Mm-hmm. So you weave this magic, little arcane symbols begin to coalesce in the air, and as you finish, just kind of a wave kind of just shock waves out, and you look down, and the only thing that is magical is the crystal. And when you look over at your bag, it is giving that same magic of the second crystal that you grabbed from the owlbear.
Cool. What can I tell? Like a school of magic? Is it giving off any particular vibes?
Un momento, por favor.
Of course.
Let's see. It's interesting. It's a little bit of a combination of a couple things, but how familiar? Or well, because you are from the Underdark, I would say you are familiar with it. It reads psionic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably something that Elspeth knows about and has heard stories about, but does not have a lot of direct experience manipulating. Okay, cool. Since this lasts for 10 minutes, while I have that up, I'm getting off the 2 crystals. Am I getting any of that off of that extraplanar metal shard thing that I've been hauling around?
It in itself is not magical.
Okay, great. I think I've established that, but I can't find that page in my notes, so I just wanted to clarify.
Mhm.
Cool. Great. Gonna look at that. Just do a lot of like, all right, yes, no, everything about this is awful. Great. Love it. Shove it all back in the bag. Which at this point, I'm sure the bag just like glows like a fucking Christmas tree every time.
Oh yeah.
So much bullshit happening here.
Yeah, your bag is so heavy.
You look at the bag and it's like Stranger Things with the ball of lights. Well,
a full portal of swirly magic crap. All right. Wonderful. Going to put that all away and then I will crawl into bed, go to sleep.
Yes.
I'm going to, when all that is done, I will go to the center of the hallway and put the alarm spell out.
Okay.
My little thread around the thing, designating individuals to go through it without. But this way we can leave the doors open and
be like, hey.
Still alarmed out in the hallway.
Okay. You all begin to get towards rest. Donovan, about halfway through the evening, your alarm spell goes off.
I would like to listen.
Perception check.
It's a 3.
3. You hear the bing and then you kind of like look around in the dark, and being in this cave complex, there's like just a little bit of light, probably from like an oil lantern way down deeper in the hallway. But because
dark vision.
Your dark vision, you do look over and you see on the opposite side, hovering over Amoa, just trying to take the spoon out of his mouth, looks like Marta, who just like has a stack of plates, and it's just like slowly coming through it, and then she walks into your room and grabs the plates there, and then starts to walk away.
Okay. Wow, she's up late. Okay. Just mental note, and then go back to sleep.
Okay. You watch her, your ping goes off again and she passes through one more time. But rest finds you all. You can all hit that long rest button.
Refreshing.
Speaking of getting things back, the Hefner has donated 1,000 bits for 1 and 1. So an inspiration for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hefner.
Okay. So morning comes, and oddly enough, with a bit of light, you begin to realize this strange sensation, and you peek your head out the hallway and see that a couple of the oil lanterns had been lit.
Right.
Well, that's nice. So pack up to Lonelywood. That's next. Lonelywood.
I think
head straight for the cabin and perhaps Lonelywood on our way back.
Well, the cabin was along the river, I believe, and the wind was insane, right, going along this side. So maybe we should travel through Lonelywood.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Like,
where does it, Elspeth, where was the cabin? I forget.
The cabin is north of here along the edge of the river. And so I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, as I scramble to find my player map, if we we can either cut straight up through the woods, or we can kind of curve around the edge of the woods following along the river. And then on the other side of the woods, just north, we reach the cabin.
Oh, whoops.
Yes, there.
Oh, if we go along the river, maybe we can find the plant that Renner needs.
Perhaps split the difference. We follow the river, but we sort of stay within the tree line so that if the wind does pick up, we can duck deeper in and sort of find shelter. Donovan, have you kept talking about being able to create a hut. Is that a thing you've resolved yet, or are we still searching for that?
I've heard stories. I don't currently have the ability to.
Right.
I would need to find a scroll of it. There was a gentleman named Leo, I believe.
Oh, I've heard of him. My father told me stories. He's a very powerful wizard or something, wasn't he?
Something like that. But he had the spell for a hut, and
Fascinating.
that would be nice to find. I don't know if that's a Brinchander thing or actually perhaps a Targus thing, where they say that there's a...
There does seem to be much more magic in Targos. Or if we go back to East Haven, I can always search the library again. They seem to have certain magical elements in there.
The guy at the cabin, he must know magic if he's going to get rid of the winter. So maybe he knows. Maybe he could show you.
Yes. All good choices.
Quite. Yes. Well, shall we go pick up the dogs and set off?
Dogs. Oh, let's do it.
Right. Azar, did you want to come with me, or shall I go on my own?
Oh no, I'll go.
All right.
So you guys begin to leave. Marta gives you a very hearty goodbye. You can see a bit of disappointment, but acknowledging that the fun is over for today.
Marta, I really enjoyed the meal.
Really? Oh, thank you.
I give you a hug.
Yes.
Amor bends over and just like gently hugs her.
She goes like for the yoke around the neck and just like squeezes down. It's like, yay! Hugs.
I hope more people taste your delicious foods. Thank you.
Tell them about it.
I will.
Thank you.
5 stars. Yelp.
Elspeth definitely grabs Reiner and pulls him aside and goes, I swear to God, we're not taking her with us, so don't even try it. Like, shoves him out the door.
Are you sure? It seems like we have another one.
Absolutely not. Let's go.
Okay.
Out.
You all out. You all head to Darmo's house?
Yes.
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 The other one.
We're not taking him either, just so everyone's clear. No more children. No one under the age of 18 on this mission. Clear?
So you arrive at Darmo's house, and no one is there currently at this time of day.
Is our sled still stationed to the side?
You do see the sled still stationed to the side, and you do not hear any dogs within.
Oh, is the door unlocked?
It is locked.
I'll knock on the door, see if I hear noise.
You knock. You wait. No response.
Did she say
They did live here, didn't they?
They do live here, but remember, Dharma has had his job in the town square, finding someone to help with the mines. Perhaps he's got a new.
What about his mom?
Crier. I assume she works. I didn't get the impression that they had any other options. It's sort of that sort of place. Everybody working, trying to avoid freezing to death, like you do.
They do
Yeah.
files.
Perhaps we should look around. Is there snow, fresh snow? Is there any footprints?
There was no fresh snow, but You do see that there seems to be regular traffic starting to head into the main part of town.
And I suppose we head to town, see what we find.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we leave, Amoa just yells out, Damo!
You begin to make your way towards the center of town, and the mood seems to be a bit more chipper. And as you reach like that central town square area, you begin to hear that young, high-pitched voice, and Amoa, you yell out Darmo, and then there's a little voice that just yells back at you. It's like, hi! And then you guys round around a building, and they're standing on top of his box, flanked by Jolly and Seven. It's Jolly and Seven, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jolly and Seven. Jolly just being stoic as ever. Seven being, and he waves over and he notices you, and he kind of like looks over towards some people who are passing by. It's like, hero, save the mine! Hero, save the mine! The mine is back open! You walk up.
That's nice.
Hello. So Oris checked out the mine early in the morning and gave it the all clear, and so people are super excited to get back to work.
Wonderful. I'm so glad.
Hello, first mate.
Hello, Captain. You've done an excellent job, I see, taking care of our faithful animal companions.
Yes, this is second mate Gunther and second mate Goober.
Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid it's time for us to return to our original voyage. So we're going to have to be setting off.
Oh. Okay.
Wonderful. You've done an excellent job. And I'm sure that next time we come through, we'll have many more stories to share with you.
Excellent. Excellent. And as your captain, you are free to leave.
Thank you, sir. Kind of waving Azar to be like, get the dogs.
Let's go.
I'm
Sure,
assuming.
Well,
And walk away at this point. Oh my god.
I'm assuming you all easily enough were able to take the cart with you, or the sled with you.
I'm sure
Yeah.
like Amoa and Renner
just
could have
drag
probably
it.
pull
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So you hitch up Jolly and Seven, who just like kind of shake against the reins a bit, just getting used to the harness once more, and they look like they're ready to go.
Right, boys. So along the road toward Lonelywood, then.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Good plan.
Mm-hmm. And as you
Let's
begin
go.
to walk your way there, traveling along the northeastern side of Mare Dualden, eventually the road, thankfully, is a clear day. Again, you have to use Zar's light to provide yourself with some necessary
Elimination.
sight illumination. Thank you. But also the moon up above is quite nearing its fullness.
So we see the moon,
Yes.
but we don't see the sun.
No.
Huh.
Robbed.
So we actually see the sky.
Yes.
It's blacked out.
Yeah, it's not like a darkness spell, if you will. Every now and then you have been able to see the sun and the moon, or not, excuse me, the moon and the stars, the celestial bodies.
That's interesting.
The longer I'm here, the more I dislike this entire situation.
Yes. Why anyone would come here is beyond me. If they had another choice.
Right.
They just wanted to get away.
It seems like everyone's here leaving something.
Why would he have never mind, let's go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. As you walk and you say yeah, and Jolly and Seven are just kind of walking alongside you. About 30 minutes away from Tourmaline, you see coming down the road, the path itself has peeled away from the coast of Mare de Walden and start to go within the woods itself. And there you see framed within trees a bit of a light coming in your direction.
A light haze, you said?
A bit of a light coming in your direction.
Should we pull off the road so that we can let them pass? Also, are there any trees that look like owls would live in?
That owls would live in. Right now they're all pine trees. I think the scientific name is conifer, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so those big bushy pine needles that are heavily caked in a white snow frosting.
Excuse me, everybody. I think I need to climb that one. I'll be back. I'll just be up there while this sled passes us. I'm looking for something.
You begin to ascend. Do me an athletic check.
That's pretty good. 18 plus 2, 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You ascend quite easily, finding the boughs. If anyone is down below, you can see some of the snow just kind of plopping down. Seemed like it was a bit of a more wet snow this time around, so it kind of just comes up as opposed to like the nice powder that goes like.
Also looking for owl feathers as I go up.
Owl feathers. Make me a investigation check.
Nice. These are good rolls. Wait.
For now.
Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, I just looked at Renner's sheet. I'm like, what? I'm way better. That's a 23.
23. You begin to ascend and you look around this tree. Unfortunately, not this tree, but you notice over on the tree next to you, about 5 feet, at least you reaching the higher portions of this tree, about a 5-foot span between branches. So it'd be maybe about 10 feet between trunks. But you see a bit of a nest there within one of the burrowed holes.
How is the light coming towards us?
For the people down below, and especially for Donovan, you kind of just see it coasting. It's coming at a pretty quick clip. And roll a perception check for me, actually, being up above.
3.
The light just kind of angles itself perfectly, so it's like it's a little hard to make out. As it gets closer and closer to you, 4 down below, you notice that it's an axe beak with kind of like almost like a fishing rod up above that has a bit of a lantern that just kind of gently sways back and forth. And you just kind of hear the very familiar and almost coasting by you is this very bundled up person with a cart that is, or a sled, I keep saying cart, a sled that is attached to the haunches of the axe beak. It kind of looks at you 4 down below, kind of does a little head bob as it goes for about 20 feet before it kind of
Hello.
The figure looks over and then just kind of hops off, has goggles and a scarf that goes all the way around and a hat, and just kind of walks over to you. Looks at you all 4.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fine. We're heading up to where are we going again?
Upriver.
Upriver. Oh, well, you're pretty close to the river. It's a bit further down, about another 30 minutes, and you'll be at Lonely Wood.
Oh, perfect. We were hoping to stop there briefly before we continue on. Thank you.
Oh, excellent. Whatever you do, don't go out into the woods. There's a bit of trouble going on in there, but whatever, stick to the path and you'll be fine.
What
What's in
kind
the
of
woods?
trouble?
Oh, we've been having a bit of a troubles. Basically, there's a giant white moose that's been attacking people.
Oh, a moose.
Yes, and it's really smart, apparently. You'll be out there sowing for a tree, and then all of a sudden it comes in and skewers somebody and runs off before anybody gets to notice.
Oh.
That's weird.
That's not normal moose behavior. Well,
Certainly not.
we'll be
Strange.
sure to avoid that as much as we can.
Yes. Did you happen to be by Goodmead?
We have been near Goodmead recently.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. My cousin over there, Steve, he runs the
Yes, he runs
the meat hall over there. Yes. Apparently he was talking about you folks helping him out, doing a good favor, getting all that meat back there. And he wrote back to me, and then the letter came, and basically like everybody in Lonelywood is starting to like, when are they gonna come here? Are they gonna help us out? But apparently not. But you're all busy, I'm certainly sure.
Is Lonelywood in need of particular assistance?
Well, basically, we got a rampaging moose. The hunters haven't been able to catch it.
Right, okay, so avoid the woods because there's a rampaging moose, but also go help with the rampaging moose. Got it! Wonderful.
Well, I mean, like, I was just making sure. I didn't know quite who you were, but you kind of reminded me of some of the descriptions you said. I think it was, it's been a bit since I read the letter. Oh, gosh. I forget your names.
It's all right. We're pretty distinctive. One of us is blue, one of us is purple, one of us is significantly taller than everyone else, and one of us can apparently breathe fire. But anyway,
I can see that. But apparently there was 5 of you. There's only 4 of you now. Is the 5th one dead already?
No, he's just taking care of some other things. He'll be back any second now.
I'm going to try and leap from one tree to the next.
Roll me
Right
an
on cue.
athletic check, my friend.
You have to shout Assassin's Creed when you do it.
Acrobatics, you said, James?
No athletics, because you have no run. You are just leaping from one branch, one trunk to the other.
14.
14. Okay. So you brace yourself and you find yourself able to find a bit of a thicker branch that protrudes outwards. And you're like, okay, you get your feet settled. You have your arms around the trunk. And you're like, okay, 3, 2, 1. You push off, give yourself just like a little bit of a tip-tap run. You leap off. You descend about a good 2 or 3 feet. Just due to the distance and how much you were able to get pushed off. But you slam into the trunk and you just go as branches just kind of cut at your face and just slap you. And you're there. It's like, and then below you all see just like snow just kind of.
Like I said, he'll be here any moment.
Oh, hey, you're in the woods. Be careful of the moose. I don't know if it can get up there. They're just talking how smart it is. Maybe it can climb.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Are you hurt, Donovan?
I'm sure I am.
Only his pride.
You take 2 bludgeoning damage.
All right.
Like a black eye.
But yeah, down below, it's like, well, he's doing that. I'll be getting on with my life. I'll be off in Tourmaline. But good to meet the heroes of Goodmead.
Right. How far are you traveling? Just to Tourmaline or anywhere beyond?
Oh, I'm just going to drop off some scrimshaw over at Tourmaline and then head on over to Targus do a little bit of shopping and dropping over there, and then possibly head back. And if I'm feeling especially spicy, I might head over to Bryn Shander, see if I can sell a bit there.
Excellent. Would you mind taking a letter to post for me?
Certainly. What can I do for you?
Oh, it's already sealed and addressed. I just need to drop it off.
Oh, okay. Where are you heading into?
Oh, it's to East Haven.
To East Haven.
Yes.
Anyone in particular that I can?
Oh, if you just get it to the town hall, they'll take care of it from there, I'm sure.
Town hall, certainly. Pockets it. A little bit of a delivering fee, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. 3 silver?
Thank you. Plop 3 silver. Well, that takes off a good third of what I needed to get from this good old seller here. So, thank you very much.
Of
Very
course.
fortuitous.
Travel safe and try to avoid the moose.
Yes. Make sure you avoid the moose yourself. Gets a bit of a jog. Ooh. Gets a bit of a jog and leaps on to the axe beak like it's a tauntaun who just like. Meanwhile, Donovan.
I am picking up a handful of owl feathers.
Uh-huh.
Hello to the little owls.
You like look inside and just like big, massive eyes, just like. Then the body turns around with the rest of it.
You know what? I think I've got some jerky. I'll just throw a little jerky at it and then climb down. It's like a mini axe beak.
You're able to climb easily down. You all see Donovan descend.
Now, the only thing remaining is that pearl. For the moment, anyway. Sticks it in my little component pouch.
Okay.
Zara will prestidigitate some of the pine tar off of his clothes.
Mm-hmm. It's a little on the sticky side, and it just kind of flakes away into dust.
Oh, thank you. I know that you are quite conservative with that spell, so thank you for using it on me.
I am?
Yes.
Should I use it more?
I've asked a couple of times and you've just derided me for it. But it's fine.
Sure.
I understand. Sometimes I deserve it.
Did you find what you needed, Donovan?
I did, yes. I got some owl feathers.
Wonderful. Shall we press on? Perhaps a little closer to the road, where there's less likely to be a giant rampaging and incredibly intelligent moose?
Yes, let's do it. So there's
What exactly is a moose?
Oh, have you seen a deer before?
Yes, they're delicious.
Right. So picture that with a much larger face and much larger antlers and very angry most of the time.
Why would it be angry?
That is a good question. I don't want to get close enough to ask it.
Okay. Angry deer.
I think I might have a picture in one of my books, and I will pull out one of my many notebooks and flip through to see if I have a picture of a moose.
And as you all continue to walk towards the Lonely Wood, Elspeth giving a lecture, a seminar on the differences between moose and deer. That's where we're going to take our break.
Hey.
Good.
I want to know.
That's bonus content for the Patreon. Elspeth just doing monologues about all the stuff we talk about on our travel time.
I love it.
Excellent. Well, we will be back in a good 7 to 10. Any special things, Thomas, or are we just gonna go straight into it? We're just gonna go straight into it. Yes, do that bio break, get yourself a snack. I know I'm a little bit on the peckish side, so go check that. Go check out your fridge, as I will do the same. Not your fridge, my fridge, and we'll see you.
Marta's fridge.
Marta's fridge.
Yes.
That legit made me hungry though. No lie.
All right. Well, we will be back in 7 to 10. See you then, folks.
Yay.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. Our heroes here are heading from Tourmaline to Lonely Wood. They met a person who let them know that a bit of their fame has started to spread around a bit. Anyway, so you all head towards Lonely Wood. And un momento, por favor. I should have pulled up Lonely Wood while I was on the break, but I will do so now. There we go. So Lonely Wood itself, as you are riding on this main road, it's probably been one of the nicer roads you have been on, in the sense that the trees that kind of surround it allow it to be fully not fully encased in snow, and so you aren't having to like trudge your way even with any snowshoes or such. And it's quite nice in that sense, because in about another extra 30 minutes you begin to see the first few buildings of Lonely Wood. And compared to all the other ones where, you know, it's more of like a town where it's like centralized, it's clear, the first building you see is in this little pocket off to your right along the road, kind of encased in trees. And as you go further in, the theme seems to be that all the houses are at least along this main road within trees. And as you look further down, and about 1,000 feet away from the entrance, if you will, you see Mayor Duwalden, just the lock far off in the distance, lit by some oil lanterns along the dock side. People seem to be milling about. There's quite if you could see their faces, but currently, at least in terms of height, it's an eclectic mix. Some tall, some short, some wide, some squat, some thin. But here you find yourself in Lonely Wood.
So is it so when you say built in the trees, do you mean they're made of trees, or they're just like there are a ring of trees around them?
Yeah, so they're like any clearing or like indentation of the woods. Buildings have been kind of like go inside
Gotcha.
there.
They're like
Well,
sheltering up against the woods.
Yes.
Okay.
Very smart. Does there look like this seems like a smaller town?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a central like hall, or is it just houses, just residential?
The first few buildings you go by are residential, and once you get a good 750 in from the entrance, and or about 250 away from the lock, or not the lock, excuse me, the mayor on this one, you see a much larger building, about 2-ish stories tall, maybe 2.5-ish. And it has the, how should I say this? What is the word I'm looking for? The coat of arms. What am I looking for? What is it? Heraldry.
Oh.
Of the town. And I haven't described it, but each town has had its own kind of heraldry. And this one stands as just like green with 2 triangles, basically tip to tip, very thin white. And in your travels, you know that when something this prominent has been placed on the building, it tends to be the speaker's house.
So my philosophy is, if we were going to be traveling along these woods, we might as well figure out what reward there is for dispatching this moose, just in case we run across it.
Fair enough. Knowing our luck, we're probably going to run into it at some point, so might as well earn something from it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's go knock.
Up to you.
All right. Do.
You knock on the door, and after a brief moment, the door opens, and you look up, and you don't see anyone, and then you have to look down, and then there, not a very young, but a young halfling is staring up at you, wide eyes, kind of if Marta was sandy blonde, this would be more like a sandy brown kind of hair. Similar to Thomas. That just kind of like flops down in like a mop top. And he looks up at you, his big wide eyes, like, wow, you're big.
Donovan looks back at Omoa.
Whoa, you're even bigger.
Well, hello,
Hi.
young good sir.
Hi.
We're looking for the speaker.
Oh, you're looking for my mom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name's Scoop.
Howdy, Scoop. Donovan Chambers III. We are the heroes of Goodmeat.
Oh, wow. Oh, hey, Mom, the heroes are here. And then from way back in the room, you hear oh, okay, well, one second. Oh my God, I didn't know they were going to be here. Well, well,
We didn't know either.
Scoop, and you hear from way back in the room, Scoop, honey, just like let them in. Oh, okay. You guys want to come in?
Certainly. Yes. Thank you. Very
Cool.
kind of.
Oh, well, you can
Right.
sit over there. Don't sit in those chairs. Those are for me and my mom. And you can, as you walk in, this one, you know how there's the American kind of like hunting lodge where it's like giant mounted deer heads and stuff like that. This one gives more a sense of German, to give it an equation. It has a bit more rock in there. Has a bit more tapestry, and compared to the small chairs that you see, there is a lot larger furniture, and this is definitely not a halfling home. But you see over the fireplace just like a massive tapestry with the central head of a lion, and then flanking it onto the left and right is a goat and a dragon.
Interesting. Have I seen this symbolism or imagery before?
I would
be familiar
say
with this.
roll a history check.
Okay. Uh, 17.
17. You'll know this imagery to be very much of that of a chimera.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just kind of point and nod and be like, "Oh, all right, that's a choice."
Yeah. That was there was the people who founded this place were like from like this place called Sambia. Sambia.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Take a seat, just not the small ones.
Right, of course.
Cool.
And while we take a seat, we have 500 bits from Specs223. Thank you so much for watching, joining us here live.
Thank you so much. And as you all begin to settle in, Scoop takes one of the smaller seats and just kind of sits and stares at you all, his feet dangling, not quite reaching the ground, even in this halfling chair. And after a moment or two later, you hear the very weighty footsteps of a halfling woman as she walks in through one of the doors that possibly lead towards the kitchen. Let me see. Yeah. Strongheart. Okay. She's not stout by any means, but she is quite built as she walks in, and her muscular nature belies this very bright and cheery smile as she comes in with a plate of, and as you see, cookies. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. So, I wasn't expecting people today. These are a little bit, they were from this morning, but I hope you will all enjoy them.
Thank you for your hospitality.
And you look at them, and they kind of look like this person's face, but with a smile and like really big, like just circular eyes on the cookies. Like, have a cookie. It's my face.
Amal grabs two.
Jarl has some.
You're eating my face. How do they taste?
Your face is delicious.
Really, you should. You need to meet this person. Her name is Marta. These cookies would be an excellent follow-up to their culinary skills.
Oh, noted. Well, that is fantastic. I really enjoy hearing about food and about people, and it's just so lovely to hear about that. Are you here to crash? I know our tavern isn't open at the moment, but if you needed a place, it is the morning, afternoon-ish, but if you needed a place to stay, we have room up in the attic.
Donovan?
Yes, we were traveling here. We ran across a I forget the gentleman's name.
I don't think we got it, but I know he's a cousin of Master Steve out of Goodmead.
Oh, Richard! Oh,
yes,
what a lovely man.
Richard deals in
very
scrimshaw.
thick accent.
Yes, in fact.
He mentioned you had a moose problem.
Yes.
Yes. At which point Scoop kind of pops up. It's like, yeah, they've been killing people.
Oh, that's a problem moose. Is it just one, or is there more than one moose?
Oh, well, and she like kind of hushes the boy. Well, all we know of is one, though it hopefully isn't multiple, and we've only just seen one at a time.
Are moose a problem normally?
No, just this one.
How long ago did this start exactly? With the moose being a problem?
Oh, about a couple of weeks ago. Some of our loggers would go out and begin to harvest the wood that we send off to all parts of 10 towns, and, well, they were attacked. Thankfully, at that one, no one was gravely injured, but it happened again and again and again. And this moose just keeps on coming. I wish it would come
here. Is it
here.
only attacking loggers, or is it attacking the town?
Oh, just anyone who finds themselves deeper into town. I don't think it has the gall to come here.
They're just picking off the loners one by one in the forest.
Yes. Apparently, yes.
No, I was just wondering if anyone has an up close encounter with it.
Well,
that we could talk to.
There are quite a few loggers in town who have decided that, until it is gone, it is better to wait until it goes away. And some of the younger ones have been stepping up, and unfortunately, I would go and kill it. Okay, shoo. Yes, but unfortunately, some of them have been saying it's quite intelligent and has been quite elusive, attacking a very guerrilla style, if you will.
I thought you said it was a moose.
Oh, have another cookie, dear. Have another cookie.
Thank you.
Are we tripping out from these cookies yet?
Elspeth is just collecting every time she gets handed one. She's just like got them in a stack and a napkin. She has not eaten any of them yet.
You want to roll a Constitution? No, I'm kidding.
All right, so hyper intelligent moose picking off lone loggers one at a time in the forest. Wonderful. That sounds just like something we would in fact run into in the forest, doesn't it? I don't suppose if we were perchance to run across this moose and be able to perhaps assist you with your problem, is there any sort of bounty? Do you want us to bring back the antlers? Anything like that?
Well, I would love for it to be dead, and if you can show proof of that, I can. And at that point, you just hear like 3 smaller voices coming up from the back room, just like, as 2 of them are chasing another one with wooden swords, and they run upstairs, and you just see the speaker just smile and like, hold, as he's just like, Meanwhile, Scoop seems to be enjoying himself as sitting with the adults. But the speaker begins to, well, I can give you more cookies.
Hey, it's only a moose. How hard could it be, right? You said it's a deer.
It's like a very large, very angry deer. It's going to be a lot more like fighting that owl bear thing. You know, the one that nearly killed Moa.
Yeah, well, you should just stay out of the way so it doesn't kill you. Then it should be fine, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good advice.
I don't suppose anyone in Lonelywood trades in pearls, do they?
No, we've got more of a scrimshaw business here.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. Just figured it was worth asking.
Oh, speaking of that, do you happen to know, has obviously with the darkness and the Frostmaiden and whatnot, has the river frozen over and changed?
I would say in part, especially the top layer. But there is some flow that comes from below. However, it is difficult in some places. If you were, let's say, a fish.
There used to be some sort of river weed that would grow. Is that stopped growing because of the ice?
Oh, it hasn't stopped growing. No, it's just harder to get to. You have to drill about a good, depending on the spot, 2 feet into the ice and make sure you don't freeze your hand off as you reach in or like go to harvest. Sometimes it's encased and those don't tend to taste as good, but better than nothing.
I see, okay. The fish are missing that delicacy.
Ah. Heroes who also speak with fish.
Right, so...
Yes, perhaps it is early. I think that we continue our journey. Do you know how far into the woods is the moose typically seen?
all manner of parts. It doesn't seem to go close to us in town. But it seems to know the woods well, that when most attacks happen, it's when they're very much in the focus of cutting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Do you have an extra axe?
Extra axe.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'd be someone out and about who'd be willing to have have an axe for you.
Right.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for the treats. And I think we had best continue on our way. We'll see if we can talk to some of the loggers and perhaps get any more information, and then we will be off. Thank you.
Yes. Certainly. You might want to check with the Lucky Liar. That is our tavern. Perhaps you can find something there. And yes.
You said the tavern was closed. Oh, is it just closed because it's early or closed because something?
That's a James thing. The inn is closed. Tavern is open.
Thank you. Wonderful. And I'm sorry, what was your name again, Madam Speaker?
My name is Nimsy Huddle.
Nimsy Huddle. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I hope we get the opportunity to see you again, perhaps when we pass back through.
Certainly, and if you kill that moose, I will make sure you have a fresh plate of cookies.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.
Very well. Thank you.
So you all begin to leave, and as you do, you find that you have a bit of a straggler right behind you.
Darling, Scoop,
Yes?
was it?
Scoop.
Yes.
Yes, we are going to go talk to some of the folks at the tavern, get some information, and then we have to set off on our quest. And I'm afraid it's going to be awfully dangerous, and really, if there's a rampant moose running about, this town is going to need strong gentlemen like yourself to stay here and protect it in case he starts getting frisky and decides to get close.
But he's never attacked one of us in town. I could go and I'll stab it, and like pulls out a wooden sword. I'll stab it in the eye.
Scoop, darling, what would happen if he gets tired of attacking everyone in the forest and does decide to come into town and you are out there and you weren't here to protect the town?
Oh.
Perhaps the reason he never comes is because he knows you're here and your fearsome reputation scares him off.
Roll a persuasion.
Reason against a small child.
14.
14. He looks a little, well, at least let me take you to the Lucky Liar. It's filled with like dangerous people. And like, they know, like you said, they know that I'm who I am. So they won't mess with me. So if you're with me, they won't mess with you.
I would love to be accompanied to the tavern. Lead on.
All right. And then you see him begin to march through the snow with sword drawn and out, just like walking.
Turn back to Donovan, just give him the face of like, dear God, why every time? And then continue.
Right. He's just shooting glares at Renner, as Renner is like,
I mean, if
We are the roving orphanage. We are
I
at this
wanted
point.
pets, not children. What the hell?
at this
They're
point,
exactly the same.
In this game, they are.
Holy
Seven and
cow.
Jolly just kind of follow behind. The sled just going along with him. But yes, you are taken. Hiya, they know I'm in D&D. Why are they calling? Hiya.
Yeah.
Hiya.
I'll be right back, everyone.
Thomas is gone. We're
Quick.
gonna vamp a little bit. Thomas is gone. We're
Just
gonna
drink
vamp
all
a
the meat
little
before he
bit.
gets back. It'll be fine.
Quickly.
Glug, 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 glug.
But you are taken out from the speaker's house and you walk that 250 feet forward to see like the docks. And it's nice to see the water very much like Tourmaline, where it's not frozen over. And you can actually see boats out and about on the mare to actually do fishing. But Scoop leads you guys down to the right, just walking by, and buildings are kind of framing the... Oh my God, stop. Framing the the woods. And eventually you make your way towards the northeastern part of or northwestern part of the town, where you see some more buildings ensconced within the woods, but there are a few closer to the mare that are just kind of standing freely. And they're a good 3 stories tall is this tavern, who has more of that Sembian architecture, where it is the seems to be like wood, and then in between like a plaster-esque kind of material that kind of has like little V's that just like cross to create how should I say this, bracing. And you go in. Do you go in? Sorry.
Yes.
So Scoop opens the door and just like and he's like, hello everybody, here's the heroes of good mead. And then just continues to walk in and finds a table and just like sits, like has to like kind of crawl up onto this stool and just like sits there like he knows his shit, and his head is like up to here on the table. And he's like just waves you guys over. Meanwhile, the rest of the tavern is just kind of like eyes just like sharp and looking.
Gonna go up to the bar.
Mhm.
Yeah, I followed Donovan to the bar.
Ah, hello, good person.
You walk up to the bar, and there you see in a fur-lined vest with fingerless gloves that lead into coffee brown skin and tattoos that just run up both of her arms. Framing her face is long ink black hair with deep brown eyes. She looks to you, leans over, it's like, gives you a good up and down, Donovan. How can I help you?
We're stopping off for a bite to eat before we head north along the river and think about solving this moose problem.
A bite to eat, is that all you're stopping for?
You know, we have time, Donovan. You could stay longer if you wanted.
Shut. Turns around, it's like, it depends. Do you happen to have any fine inks or magical scrolls?
I don't, but it's interesting that you ask that. Ink-wise, you might want to just head a couple buildings over. Happy
Ink?
Scrimshander happens to have inks if you're looking.
Happy Scrimshander, you say?
Yes.
Is that the name of the place or the name of a person?
Name of the place.
Got a question for you. About this moose?
Yes.
Is there anyone in here who might have seen it up close?
She kind of leans back. Who here has seen the moose? And then you all just kind of notice that the jovial nature that was beginning to transpire once more, just kind of, people kind of look down in their cups. Leans back towards you.
Okay.
I feel like you're the kind of man who will be able to take care of this problem.
Well, not by myself, but with these fine people beside me, sure.
Looks everybody up and down. Well, I'm sure you'll be doing the heavy lifting. Gives you a wink.
I don't know what you've heard. It's not true. Donovan is specifically not knowing what is happening.
Do not engage. Do not engage.
She leans back and is like, dear, sometimes modesty is unbefitting for heroes.
Oh, I am absolutely unnoteworthy. Quickly forget that I was ever here.
Pretty sure there are a lot of people here like you. Anyway, anything else I can get for you? Or shall you be entertaining the rest of the room, who, as you look back a bit, is just kind of like waiting and seeing what these new strangers are up to. Scoop, whose legs are just kind of flinging about, not reading the room at all.
So, like, a totally awkward Donovan is just like, So, wait, what's happening here?
I thought you had everything fully under control. Now I'm confused. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Hold on. Wait, I think I read about this in a book once. Either they don't want to tell us anything, or they're getting ready to set us up because they assume we're all going to die. Remember, I'm very bad at reading people, so I could be completely off about this whole situation.
I look around real quick, see if anyone has their work axe on them.
Work axe on them.
Yeah.
Quick perception check.
And my perception is not great. That is 16 plus perception. That's a 20.
20. You see over on the far back corner, surrounded by a couple other of her friends, a very tall, large, husky woman with bristly short hair, and leaning against the table seems to be a large wood axe.
Right. I'll walk up to her and say, "Oh, were you planning on going into the woods to cut down some more trees?"
No.
Mind if I borrow that then?
Looks you up and down, takes in your small stature. It's like, dear, if you can lift it, it's all yours to play around with.
Thank you. Over the shoulder, just walk.
Yeah. And they're like, oh. And whoever's watching Scoop at this moment is just kind of get that shit-eating grin that 7-year-olds kind of have, just like.
Donovan kind of turns around. So we are going to, and after we eat lunch, we're going to go into the woods, try and solve this moose problem. Is there anybody who has seen it up close? I have a question.
Roll me, depending. So it seems like everybody, based on the barkeep's exclamation, that everybody in this room has seen it.
Gotcha.
Roll an insight check to see if you're looking for a friendlier person, someone who's like, get this shit out of here kind of person.
Insight, you say?
Yes.
15.
15. You see off onto the side, someone with a bit of a point to their ear, swooped brown hair, almond-ish shaped eyes, just kind of sitting with a couple of his friends, just like nursing a drink there, just like, looking at you, locks eyes, and just like,
Gonna kind of walk over.
you walk on over.
May I sit down?
There's a chair, isn't there?
Donovan sits.
Mhm.
We've noticed some very strange things happening. Obviously, the strangest, and then things in different levels of strangeness happening.
Mm-hmm.
Did this moose have any sort of pink glow to it? Any crystal embedded in it by any chance?
No crystal, but pink glow if you want to look that or see that its white fur is coated in blood.
Gotcha. Sorry.
You're fine. Well, Buddy's not.
Right. Okay. You know what? We're going to go. We're going to go kill a moose. That's what we're going to do. We're going to leave. We're going to go kill a moose. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. If you find a pearl, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, we are in the market for one of those.
You all begin to exit out. Scoop kind of being like, oh, we're not okay. Okay. Kind of steps up, gets off the chair and say, heroes of good mead, soon to be heroes of lonely
Can Elspeth wants to just like kind of basically grab him by the collar and just sort of drag him out. Wait, nope, we're done here. Just drags him out and it's just like, right, thank you very much for all your help. We have to go. You should get back home before your mother worries about you.
She doesn't worry about me.
She will if you're missing. Trust me.
No, she doesn't.
I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes our parents feel things about us, even though they don't tell us that, and it's very difficult to understand because you think they're ignoring you, and it turns out they were trying to do something for your own benefit, and they just didn't want to tell you because they feel like you're too young to understand. You should go back to your mother.
Amora clocks that like, that was unusually long-winded for her.
Scoop just kind of scratches his head a bit. Fine. But if you guys mess up, I'm going to kill it when it comes here.
Good. We appreciate the backup.
Takes a sword, kind of like does the mercenary over the shoulder. Okay. And begins to start patrolling, like
Elspeth
making
manages
his
to keep a
way
straight
back.
face.
But just start patrolling along the dock side, just like looking out and about, like even looking out on the mares, like, is it going to rise from the fucking ocean? It's like, okay. And then just keeps walking.
Turn back to Donovan. All right, we could just go. Let's just go.
Yeah, I guess.
Go.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's, Renner's a fish of action, so I'm sure that he's
probably already gone at this point.
You guys see Renner going off into the woods. It's like, oh, thank God, we're finally doing something.
Amoa, we're gonna go kill a moose.
Ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Great, let's go.
Okay. You guys just go straight into the woods.
with the dogs. Yeah, we're gonna bring the dogs. I really would hate to have an X-Beak situation.
Yeah, perhaps we could stable them somewhere.
Well, let's just take the dogs. It's on the way, right?
We'll take the dogs. I'll stay with the dogs. If something happens to the dogs, I can heal the dogs. It'll be fine.
They might want to take a bite out of the moose.
That's true.
Would be shocked if Jolly tried to bite a moose. I'd be thrilled, but also shocked. Seven, you're a good boy, Seven. You can just stay with me. Ruffle the ears.
You all head off into the woods, and quicker than the woods near Goodmead, these are tightly packed trees, and you are bobbing and weaving through them. I would like...
I think we should make a inordinate amount of noise.
Yeah. I was thinking if we could find where the loggers had been logging, and since there's no one else there, if we started cutting down a tree, one person cuts down a tree, the other one's hide, the moose should come since it doesn't like people cutting down trees.
Sounds. What happens if this is like some ancient forest spirit who is just protecting the trees?
We try to talk to it first. I know it's a novel concept that not everyone is on board with, but I'm just putting it out there as an option. I've had perfectly good luck talking to non-human entities. In the past, at least.
Whatever gets us more cookies when we return.
I have this strange feeling the moose is going to give us a task.
You think
It was
the
quite good.
moose is going to give us... I guess that's not the weirdest thing we've dealt with in the last 2 weeks.
You're like, oh, I'll stop attacking the town if you solve my badger problem. Or whatever.
Oh, maybe it'll just be riddles. I'm very good at riddles.
All right, let's into the woods.
Into the woods you
Home
go.
before dark.
Can I have
Camp out in the woods, so
It's always dark.
always dark? Azara, do you have your light on in these woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can't see. So.
Someone roll me a survival check.
I'll do it, says the wisdom-based class. 19.
Hey,
19, okay.
yeah. You've been
I'm
in the
learning how
woods.
to read the map, everyone.
You walk through the woods, and after a good hour of just like trying to like get into the woods away from Lonelywood, you find yourself some moose tracks.
Ooh, ice cream.
Plus 10 on that one.
watch out. There might be rabbits nearby.
No, I love bunnies.
Are these moose tracks unusual in some way, or I don't know?
Make an investigation check.
All of the moose
tracks in the wood.
That was very middle.
+1. That's a 10.
10. With your very limited knowledges of moose, you're like, I mean,
Okay.
Elspeth said it's a moose trap.
Are we near one of the logging sites?
From your knowledge, or from what you can see around you, even in these tightly packed trees, it doesn't seem to be like a logging area.
Okay. Probably not it.
Follow the tracks and see if they lead us to either a moose or a kill site.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds like a good idea.
I mean, it sounds like a terrible idea, but we've kind of committed to this bit now, so I guess we've got
It's
to
a
go.
good idea for the bad thing that we're doing.
Yes, there we go.
Okay.
We need to
Um,
talk to a moose and scold it or ask it what it needs.
Yes.
Like you, Elspeth, since you are leading this, roll a d6 and a d4.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. It's a
There's
good idea for me to be in
nothing
front. I rolled 4s on both.
4s on both. So you continue to follow these tracks. And follow these tracks. And follow these tracks. 4 hours pass before you come up. I'm assuming stealthily or just like going as you do.
Can we tell if the tracks are getting fresher and fresher as we go?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So then at some point we'd kind of see that, okay, we're getting close.
Yeah, I think at that point we would probably go as stealthily as we can with the dogs and the sled and everything.
Okay.
And Renner.
And Renner.
And Renner. Everybody roll me a stealth check, please. I will roll for
Alright.
Renner over here at disadvantage. Okay.
At 20.
Nat 20 for a total of. For a
Should
total
have
of there, Toxic?
+2.
Oh, +2. Yeah, sorry, 22.
Okay, so 22. What other people?
18.
18.
Ooh.
12.
No, got nothing on us.
9.
Nice.
I
Okay.
would.
I finally rolled bad.
We've got some inspiration. I think that I
Would
think
you-
it's 12 can be the lowest. Let's inspire D6 to.
Would you like me to be slightly more stealthy? I'd like to play slightly more stealthy, especially if I'm in the front. Good, that makes it a 10.
Okay. So you all begin to noticing that tracks get fresher. You press onwards, and as you do, you find that they kind of descend into this little gully, and at the base of it, munching on a slightly chewed up shrubbery at this point, a moose.
Is it a white moose?
You look at it, it is very much a brown moose.
Yeah, that's a lot bigger than a deer.
I did tell you, it's like a large, angry deer.
Doesn't look very angry. It looks like a cow.
It,
Like a cow deer.
if it gets angry, it'll be very unpleasant. Well, that was a delightful misadventure.
That was 4 hours of. It's our well, actually, it's actually getting kind of late. We should probably set up camp. Does this actually look like a decent place to set up camp?
Yeah, how long has we been, like, how long was the trip to Lonelywood?
Trip to Lonelywood was an hour. The time you spent in Lonelywood, I would say an hour itself. So you've been out for about 6 hours. So it's maybe,
It's like mid-afternoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Search
Yeah.
more.
Do you want to just start chopping down a tree?
Make it come to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moa, do you
So-
want to yell out for the moose and just say, "Hey, moose, you want to?" Hey, moose.
Okay, I'll try my best moose call then. Almost, I was kind of like walking in
Yeah,
circles
moose,
and proving
moose.
moose.
And when you say you start saying moose, the moose in the gully just like looks upwards. Just begins to run off. You start yelling moose. Amoa, roll me a d20.
Persuasion check.
10.
A 10. Okay. You continue to call out, moose, moose. How long do you call out moose for?
I don't know, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. And that time, nothing happens.
Well, I rejoined the group then, and like, well, moose call doesn't work. Oh, I don't know. Maybe
I could try cutting the tree down.
set something on fire too. Some kind of. Well, we never found out why that moose attacked the others, did we? Kind of just showed up.
Well, everyone seemed very reticent to talk about it back at the bar.
I have a feeling that moose has the same sort of crystal embedded in it that the owl bear did.
That would certainly explain the just general rampage that seems to be occurring. Or if you're correct about it being some sort of forest guardian spirit, something touched by the gods, then perhaps doing damage to the nature would draw it out.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
If everyone hides, so it looks like I'm by myself, because they said it attacks people that are alone, and I'll try to cut a tree. I've never cut down a tree before. This should be fun.
I'm going to find a nearby tree, not the one he's going to cut, not the one she's going to cut down, but the nearby one to climb and hide.
Roll me an athletics check. So, by the way, these are thick trees.
Thick, like
Well, that's gonna be a 5.
healthy trees.
5.
Yeah.
You begin to scale upwards, and you're like latching on. And even though you got the gloves on, because you have the gloves on, it is hard to get a grip on it, and you find yourself grabbing onto a piece of bark that just goes. You fall back in the snow. You take 2 damage.
It's like half my hit points.
You just kind of lay on your back. A bit of the wind knocked out of you.
You
Donovan,
okay?
Need my hands like sparking with the healing magic.
It's. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's wait until we see who
Right.
really. I'm going to
Hide the bush.
find a bush to hide.
Find a bush and hide. Roll me a stealth check, sir.
A poison ivy bush. Or
Everyone else, are you gonna
bush.
hide or what you gonna do?
I'm gonna look for a large enough copse of brush that I can kind of tuck in with the dogs and the sled.
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily trying to be particularly stealthy because I'm not going to be able to with all the stuff, but I want to at least be not the first thing in sight line.
Just out of sight. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
tuck behind some bushes or into some shrubs with the dogs and the sled. And I'll just like sit on the sled so I can pop up and help if I need to.
Pretty much same.
I mean, everybody do roll me a stealth check, just to see. Donovan, what you?
19.
19,
3.
3,
It went from 20, 10, 3.
7.
7. Okay. So you two are same place, Omoa and Elspeth, or separate?
I would want to be
Yes.
separate if
Yeah.
possible so that we've got
Mhm.
spreads. It's harder for anything to get us
Okay.
all at once.
Renner also takes a
We've got a good
Vantage point.
perimeter.
Yes, around Azar. Azar, what kind of tree are you looking for? You're just gonna
Zara
cut one
knows
down?
nothing. Just like pick a tree.
Okay, roll me a d6.
D6.
Azar does know that the thicker the tree, longer it
So
will take.
3.
3. You find a decently sized tree that's maybe about 7 feet in diameter.
Holy crap. That is freaking massive.
Big boy trees.
Roll me an
Oak
athletics check.
Gonna be here all night.
Eventually she starts punching it with fire. It's like, just fall. Oh, that's garbage. That's a 6.
6.
Gobble.
You take the massive axe and you begin to swing away. And while it's okay to carry, the reverberations and the solidness of the tree, you are not quite used
Yeah.
to like the
She has
angle
no
of
idea
it.
what she's doing.
Yeah. So you just kind of hack at it and you're not even like hitting, like you're not chopping it into like,
Like, yeah, each hit's a different spot.
yeah. So you're just like marking it. Everybody else is just kind of watching and you just hear it like a thunk, thunk,
Oh,
thunk.
she's making noise at least.
Yep. How long will Azar go for?
Until they tell me to stop.
Okay. 10 minutes pass by. 20 minutes pass by.
She's like walking around the trees, like, maybe this is how you do it.
Yeah, like you're sizing it up like a box. Like, all right. Then you go back into it. 30 minutes pass by. 40 minutes pass by.
At this
All right,
point, all the bark within reach is gone now.
Yeah.
I think this is probably this has been a long time. Sorry, take a break. I think that we can.
Let's
Got
try
another
s-
idea?
Elspeth is just gonna kind of stand up from where she is and throw her dancing lights out. They go 120 feet, and she's just gonna kind of throw them in 4 different directions and see if anything shows up.
Roll me a d20.
18.
18. The light streams outwards and across. Roll me a perception check.
What is my modifier? Also an 18.
Okay. You look outwards and you see about 60 feet away in the dark until your thing kind of streamed across, at which point one of them looks up. You see a fox just kind of watching a hare about 20 feet away. The fox is very focused, but the hare just notices the light, watches it stream across. And then you just keep watching as the fox slowly goes. Roll a d6 for me.
1.
1. It makes the leap. The light also kind of just alerted the hare to be more alert, and as it leaps, the fox just goes into the snow while the hare just goes.
Cool. I'm gonna come out of my hiding spot in the bushes and kind of just quietly wander that direction, making sure that my party sees that I'm moving, and just kind of walk a little bit that way and just sort of like, hello? Because, we've had decent experiences with foxes before. Just kind of very quietly like, hello there. Maybe reach into my bag and pull out some jerky or some of this copious amount of trout that I apparently have at all times. And kind of toss some of it that way to offer the fox since he missed his rabbit.
Roll an animal handling check.
Getting better every time.
Might have to take that level of druid at some point. Man, God, 17.
17.
Is this a thing I'm good at?
As you step forward, as the fox kind of like dislodges itself and shakes itself off, it notices you and like kind of gets into defensive stance, and then you hold out the jerky.
It's all right. Just
bites it. Kind of just eats it there in front of you. Looks at you.
would you like some more? Tentative, like, reach into the bag, pull out another piece, offer it again. Stop!
Chop, chop, chop. Azar, with that, I want you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Sure. 19.
19. You know that your arms are getting tired. If you keep going, you risk exhaustion.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of go over by the dogs since they were left and just get them ready to go because I think this isn't working. Let's just continue on out of keep going north.
I'm gonna look at this little fox and just kind of, as I'm kind of feeding it, and just be like, I don't know if you understand. We're looking for the bad moose, the moose that kills people. I don't know that animals understand people, but
You see it kind of like get up onto like its haunches and points its head to the left and starts to go that way.
Like, oh, you mean Steve? Okay.
right. I'm just gonna catch it back and be like, I'm going to follow the fox.
You all watch as Elspeth begins to just follow the fox.
I'll go
into
get the
woods.
dogs and follow
Yeah,
Elspeth.
I'll turn the dogs and go like, okay, we're going this way.
I'll again like snap up my dancing lights, but this time I'm just gonna basically have them coalesce together and like plop them onto my shoulder so that they can see where I am.
Okay. So you see this beacon of Elspeth. Who hasn't? Donovan, roll me a d4.
3.
3. Roll me a d20.
2.
2. Okay. So you continue to follow this fox who
We
steps
are,
like,
and in my mind, I'm just saying we are about to be lost forever in these woods.
Forever. That's so dark.
you
It is
watch
Not wrong.
the fox just kind of like waits at a tree, sees you catch up, goes to the next tree, waits for you to catch up, and you all just kind of follow behind this fox. 3 hours later.
I've
Elspeth having a moment where it's like, this is a stupid decision, but I'm too committed now.
About an hour and a half in, we're like, yeah, I can't stop now.
No, I mean, we're either going to come out the other side or we're going to die here. So let's just keep going.
can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Just because Amoa hasn't had a chance to really like stop and do anything, I'm just gonna prep my 2 daggers. I'm just gonna flip, like swirl them around my hand, and just as I'm wandering around with everybody.
You have daggers? Kidding.
I do.
Here I've been like, just use this boomerang. But yeah, so you start fiddling with your daggers. Fortunately, the way you guys go, aside from that fox, so far you haven't seen anything.
No
But
tracks or anything.
no tracks. But about 3 hours or so in, Elspeth, you see that the fox begins to pick up speed and then just disappears off behind a couple trees.
I want to just kind of take a solid look around and see if I notice anything particularly untoward or out of the ordinary.
Go ahead.
You'd think I'd remember this modifier by now, but I don't. 23 on perception.
The edge of your dancing lights and with your dark vision, you can see that there's a break in the tree line. Or a break in the collection of woods. It seems to be a tree line.
And that's where the fox ran to?
Yeah.
Keep heading that way.
You keep heading that way, and the rest of you following a good 30 or so feet behind. Elspeth, you walk out and you see this clearing that meets a large rock face. But the rock face isn't what's interesting about it. Before you, you're approaching from, I guess, the south, like you're approaching it at a northwestern direction. Basically, you're coming from the southeast, if you will.
Got it.
And from there, you see 6 statues just kind of curve off in a line that follows this, from what you can see, a platform about 10 feet high that just runs about 50 or 60 feet in a diagonal.
Okay.
To your right and left. And then near the furthest left statue seems to be a bit of a indentation in the rock. And because of the 10-foot platform, what you see beyond that, you can't see. But you see the rock face on your left and this interesting, like diagonally shaped platform with the 6 statues in front of it.
I'd like to send my dancing lights over to the nearest statue to me and kind of approach that and see what it is a statue of.
Yeah. So if this is the these are the statues in a line like this. There's a platform like this, and then you're approaching like from this side.
Okay.
And the lights begin to illuminate, and you walk over to, I guess, the third one in line. And they are all tall, white marble statues. They're all facing northward. Slender, robed, and the faces, unfortunately, have been kind of worn away due to weather, but something distinct that actually remains is attached to the sides of the heads, very long pointed ears, giving you the sense of elf.
Okay.
Stone ears, not elf.
Mhm.
And since you're closer, this raised platform, there is a couple trees on top of it, but as you are getting closer, it seems like there was a central thing on this platform.
Okay, like a plinth or something that was set atop it, perhaps, or a
Yeah.
large rock or something. Okay. I'm gonna stay at the statues until the rest of the party catches up to me. I'm just maybe kind of walk along the line a little bit, looking at a couple of them, but I don't want to go too far until the rest of the party arrives. I will also look around and see if I see the fox again or anything like that.
With that perception check, you do not see the fox anymore. But the rest of you saddle up eventually towards Elspeth, seeing the exact same things. Quite tall platform that's currently obscuring other things at the moment. But it is interestingly shaped.
Like, are these Elspeth? Those statues, are they carved, or does it appear to be frozen or stonified people?
That is an excellent question. Can I make some sort of check? I don't know if that's nature.
I guess it would be
arcana,
medicine if you're trying to see
medicine.
for petrification. If you will.
Sure. Good. Now I'm rolling so well. I hope we don't get into a fight because I'm gonna die. That is a 25 medicine check.
25 medicine check. They do not look petrified. They look sculptured.
I think they're just carved, but they're distinctly elven figures. I don't know if that means they were carved by elves or just of them. It looks like there's something on top of this platform too, and maybe something of it to the side that we should perhaps take a look at. I don't know why the fox brought us here, but it did seem to be deliberate, I think. I hope.
So I would like to look around for moose tracks.
Survival check.
Yeah, I don't have nothing on survival. Set my wisdom, which is +2. 19.
19. You see multiple moose tracks in and out of this area.
Are they going more in? It's like more of a path one way or another.
You see it. The foot tracks appear to be closer to that like end of the diagonal where it seems to be the rock face.
The right side or the left?
To your left.
Left. Okay. Moose tracks.
And it seems to be going in a southern direction, but you do see quite a few tracks going also into this little division between the rock face and the platform that just kind of ends right about here. So like there's a little passageway that goes there. Is it like a staircase or is it just like just an elevated split? You say it's a platform. Is it like stairs going up to it, or from your vantage point you don't see any stairs?
Okay, so we only see the gap to the left. Is there anything to the right?
To the right, the platform continues on before hooking up into a northern pointed direction.
Okay.
I would like to. I'm gonna get to higher ground.
Mhm.
Take the dogs.
Where are you
I'm
taking
gonna-
the dogs?
I say, I Renner, take the dogs.
Oh, fine.
I'm going to. I would like to get up on the platform.
Okay. It's 10 feet up. I would say you could jump for it, like, quite easily. Especially if you give yourself a bit of a run. And it's sloped, so it's not sheer faced. You run up there. And quite easily you like haul yourself up, and it is flat on this platform. And it is very interestingly shaped. And from here you can see, as I will about to show you, the full lay of the land. If I
Map.
Oh,
Okay, that is not what I
Ah,
had.
So let's see here. Rime of the Frostmaiden. I should have grabbed your characters earlier.
it's fine. You assumed we were just going to be lost in the forest for the rest of the episode. So
Yeah.
you make great choices, y'all. We're really good at this.
So let's grab Zara. So Zara, you're like right around here. Renner, you're back here with the dogs. Elspeth, you were at number 3. Donovan, you climbed up here. And Amoa, we'll put you there unless you wish to be somewhere else.
That tracks.
So Donovan, from up there, you see 5, excuse me, 5. Let's see. What am I looking for? 5 crystal pillars. They're not made of stone. They're actually of a slightly translucent material that surrounds this large granite rectangle sitting atop this thing. It's giving you some flashbacks, if you know what I mean.
yeah. There's a sarcophagus up here as well. I'm gonna loot it real quick.
Would you like to help me up first so that I can see what we're adding to the collection?
Just kidding.
I'm all here's that. It's like, do you need a hand?
What?
No. To Elspeth. Do you need a hand?
Yeah, do you want to? Yes. I don't know if you can give me a boost.
Yeah, can
or
I
something?
do one of those like step to my hand, like my palm basically, and
Yeah.
just kind of lift.
This is gonna go so poorly.
It's only
There's-
10 feet high.
I actually do say there's stairs around the side there.
Yes.
Oh, I'll
go
take the
around.
stairs, but thank you, Amoa.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Elspeth-
basically take Elspeth's place then in that spot. I move up.
Yeah, and I'll
Oh,
run
yeah.
around to the stairs and pop up to join Donovan.
Cool.
I don't
So yeah, as you go along these statues and head up north, you find some nicely carved stairs that lead upwards and towards Donovan. There you see these 5 crystal pillars and the sarcophagus, as well as 2 trees.
Right.
And does Azar see anything as she just cuts right across this area with the circle in it?
So this circle area, you see this.
I can't.
I
control
would
it.
say you would know what a sundial is, especially coming from the
Yeah, she knows something.
from the desert. Basically, it looks like a sundial to you. There's a giant triangular crystal gnomon that's just kind of seated in the center, and on the ground here you see, with your light shining through, bits of carved moon in a circle. Interestingly enough, you see in this circle, though, there's snow all the way around it, but the moon reliefs in the ground, as well as the gnomon in the center, do not have any snow.
sundial in a place where there's no sun anymore, or a moon dial. Guess there is a moon here. Hey guys, what do you think of this? Just yell up.
I'm gonna go look over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
You two look over the edge. Amoa, you begin to make your way over there. Who did I just click? Donovan. And Elspeth. So you all see the same thing that Azar saw.
Does this at all? Does this remind me of anything from that other chamber that we were in that I got cursed at?
Roll me intelligence check.
That's not bad. 10.
10. It's old. The other thing was pretty old.
But this is definite. Were there any moons in that other place?
There may have been one or two, but not like prominent.
Yeah.
Iconography.
So I don't know if this is the same as that other place, but it's old as well.
I want to look around for any writing, particularly since I'm seeing elven iconography, see if there's any elven inscriptions or anything else that I can read.
Yeah. Roll me an investigation check. Azara saw you were moving around the gnomon there.
Yeah.
And as Elspeth is investigating, you do see in the rock relief a hole. Right around here.
Where? Oh.
On the how should I say this? Western side of this.
Walk around there. Anything out this way?
That way.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Yeah, up to the north, you do see another statue, similarly pointed northwards on the Y shape of this platform. And what I have covered over there is just the title, but it's just
Okay.
basically
So it's just snow.
snow and trees that eventually meet a
Okay.
tree line.
I did a 21 on my investigation check to find
21.
inscriptions or anything.
You look around on this top area. You don't find any writing. But when you do look at the 5 crystal pillars, they each have a unique symbol. 1, a twig. 2, a pine cone. 3, a flame. 4, a feather. And 5, what appears to be a 5-fingered hand.
A 5 what?
5-finger hand.
Donovan,
Yes.
could I borrow one of your feathers?
Sure. Reaches into his pouch, hands it over.
I'm going to take the feather. I'm going to go to the pillar with the feather on it, whichever side that's on, and I just want to try, like, how tall are these pillars? Are these like very tall, or are they like
About chest height for you.
I want to set the feather on top of the pillar with the feather on it.
You set it atop. And the image of the feather begins to glow. A almost translucent prism-like color. Pastels just kind of glowing there.
I think this is some sort of arcane trigger or something. If you put the appropriate item, it's going to activate the crystals. I just don't know what they would do.
Do we want to do this?
I don't know particularly. I want to take the feather off. Okay. I'll just tuck the feather into my pocket and be like, I'm sure it does something, but I don't know what.
Azar, can you see if there's a twig or a pine cone down there?
While I'm walking around, is there any writing on the dial in the middle or on the symbols or the walls?
I will tell you there is no writing or
Okay.
symbols.
All right. Any, I guess, I probably wouldn't be any twigs or anything over here, but I could walk over to the trees and grab a pine cone and a twig.
Easily enough. Probably not one within easy grasp on like the trees, but you can find some quickly in the woods. And you do.
And is this what's this little circle with fire on it? What's that?
So just the imagery for some reason has a fire on it. It does not have a fire currently.
Okay.
What is that? That is okay. It seems to be a gazebo. And in the center there is an unlit stone brazier about 20 inches in diameter. The brazier at the current moment is full of snow and pine needles. But it's resting in this gazebo with...
do we need a pine needle or pine cone?
A twig and a cone, please.
Oh, twig and pine cone. Okay, so we'll go in the trees and find something. I'll come back and hand you...
What is opposite of this place? Like, is there another one of these on the opposite side of the dial?
So far, it was only the rock face of the hole, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like I wouldn't say a mountain.
Okay, so that
maybe like a hill.
Like a hillside dug into.
Mountainside.
Sorry, what was that, Donovan?
The area that is in black on the screen,
yes.
That is rocks. Okay.
That is rocks.
Right. And the moose tracks came in here?
Bizarre, down there you would notice that the moose tracks go in and out of that hole.
Does Donovan say that out loud?
Oh, you would have noticed that while you were down there too.
Yeah, I mean, there's Donovan asking about the moose tracks. Like, yeah, there's a hole down there. I'm not sure where it goes. I didn't look yet.
All right. So we are looking for a moose. Should we go down to the passage and follow the tracks and look for the moose, or would you like me to? If you don't mind waiting another 10 minutes, I can do a ritual and see if I can find out any more about the magic here.
Yeah, I would like to learn about this.
Actually, I don't even need 10 minutes because I'm a cleric in this game. Haha.
Oh.
But you can do it in 10 minutes if you wanted to save one of those spell slots.
I can do it in 10 minutes if you don't mind waiting and save that spell slot. Up to all of you.
I think we can wait 10 minutes.
Wonderful. Elspeth is just going to sit down cross-legged in front of these pillars and start moving her hands in weird ways and muttering to herself and cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Where are you detecting it on?
I'm specifically looking at the sarcophagus and the pillars, but since I have it pops for 10 minutes. I will probably walk around like over to the statue that's on the platform as well. Just milk it for all 10 minutes that I get it.
And or the moon dial, sundial thing too?
Yeah,
that's got to have something.
Yeah, I'll do a whole lap around, but I'm starting at the sarcophagus and the pillars. Mm-hmm. As I sit down and start to do my little like mini trance or whatever, I'll also be like, oh, someone should check and see if there's any sort of bloodstains on top of that sarcophagus. It's really giving me creepy altar vibes.
I'll look for bloodstains.
No need to roll for an investigation or perception check. You don't find any bloodstains.
Oh, thank God.
There's snow on top?
Snow on top, yes.
So, dust off the snow. See if I can see any writing on it. And I knock too, just because I can.
Help,
you wipe away the snow. And on it, you do see some writing. It is unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Oh, so
However,
not dwarvish, elvish, or thieves' cant.
because you know Elvish, it is what appears to be very old Elvish.
Much like that other place.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
it
that
is-
one didn't even have words. This one at least has language. But it is an old Elvish.
I can't quite make it out, Elspeth, but there is very old Elvish writing on here.
Oh, right. I know what that could be, but I don't know how to read it. Never made it to that elective.
Elf Latin.
Essentially.
Yeah. But detect magic. Surprisingly, the crystal pillars, the sarcophagus, and the brazier don't have any magic. At least, or I mean, yeah, sort of. Yeah, okay, they do have traces of magic. No particular school. I'll say that. The statues themselves, though, are the ones that you can see, the 6th and the 7th. Very strong abjuration magic.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What I'd like to do then, once I've kind of scanned everything up here and scanned the statue that's up on the platform, I would then go down the steps and basically sweep along all the statues, confirm that they all seem to have that abjuration, and then pop over here to where the sundial is and see if that's giving me anything.
The sundial itself gives abjuration of a different kind.
Okay. Great. Wonderful.
Moose.
Do you say that?
Yeah. Hey, Moose.
Azar from
See.
within the hole. You hear
Yeah, can I see, what do I see down there?
with
Like, I was just waiting for you
Yeah.
for them to do their thing.
with your light. Is from this angle in particular. Oh, did not reveal. Come on, bud. You see another statue. And from deep within the mountainside, you hear
I'll just take a quick step back.
take a quick step back,
I think it heard you.
and
Golly.
just as it pushes through the hole, a massive white moose covered in bloodstains
Oh.
rushes out to meet you all. And that's where we're going to end.
Maybe.
Of course, you waited till I was off the high ground to summon the moose. Thanks.
I mean,
Because
it's
high
a
ground is
moose.
the most
The
important
moose
thing
will
to have.
always. The moose will always have the high ground.
Fair.
I have the high ground, That's how the
Ooh! Shout out to Moose2271 in the channel.
Yeah.
That was
Hey,
we summoned a
All
moose.
episode, we're like, Moose. He's like, what? Stop.
I'm here. I'm
Right
here.
here.
What the hell do you want?
so we'll hold this right here, and we will be back next week. Hopefully, we'll have our good old Matthew Bridges to be Renner once more. Excellent. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all the new Patreon members. It's super jazzy that you are here joining us now. We will be back here at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. For Down Darker Trails, it's a Call of Cthulhu campaign. We have Dragon of Ice Spire Peak on Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same channel. And yeah, any other things on the horizon, Thomas?
Thursday, we've got our Garricon stream, which is super last minute, but it is the Guild of the Five E's special one-shot connected story canon, sort of. It's on the Garricon channels. I believe it is the Loch Geneva channel, which is not spelled Lake Geneva.
So check that out.
Thursday.
When that happens.
Thursday, 6 p.m.
Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check out on our YouTubes. We also have Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. The first episode is up now, so check that out. I'm playing, Thomas is playing, Amy's playing, Tiana's playing in person. So Rebecca's doing that. So check that out. It's quite a fun game. A lot of press your luck. A lot of me really pressing my luck and failing. So check that out.
Co-opetition.
Co-opetition.
Love that.
AKA me and Thomas being like, fuck you. So Tassi, Alondra, what have you guys got going on?
You go first, Tassi.
Sure. Monday, I'm doing a pre-release stream for Magic the Gathering Legacy, which is an ARPG version of Magic the Gathering. So if you're a fan of either one of those genres or lore, stop by. I've got a ton of free keys for the PC. I'll be pretty much giving them away like this, like smart, just like throwing them out. There's so many keys. Yeah, you just need a key. So if you're interested in that, that's 10:30 a.m. PST over at twitch.tv/greenbananas. Elspeth? Alondra?
Yeah. On Tuesday, I will either be running a game, a one-shot game with the Torpid Network, or I will be probably doing some sort of game building workshop on my own channel. It is TBD. And throughout the week, especially if you're a night owl like me, you can probably find me on my channel continuing to do runs of Hades and screaming about Greek mythology, if that's a thing that you're interested in.
Yeah, and if you haven't played Hades from Supergiant Games, it's a great game.
It's very good.
Everyone's sexy. Greek gods, man. JP, anything else on the East Coast?
On the East Coast, nothing exciting for me, unfortunately.
Okay, no worries. Well, thank you all for joining us this afternoon, morning, evening, night, wherever you are in this great wide world. Just remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next Saturday for Rime of the Frostmaiden. Bye.